Studio 7 at the CNN Centre, I'm Michael Holmes. Coming up here on CNN Today, bracing for Dorian. Florida residents scramble to stock up on necessities as a strengthening hurricane surges towards the coast. Backlash after Boris Johnson's move to suspend the UK Parliament, legal challenges, political ones as well. Plus, preying on one of the most persecuted groups in the world, how human traffickers are targeting Rohingya women and girls. The time to act is now. That urgent warning coming from Florida's governor as he urges residents to prepare for the possibility of a direct hit from Hurricane Dorian. The storm now churning over the warm waters of the Atlantic, and that's not good, warm waters. It is set to intensify over the next few days into perhaps a Category 4 storm. Petrol stations and grocery stores running low on supplies along the coast as many residents stock up ahead of the advancing storm. But for now, they can only watch and wait to see where Dorian will make landfall. Our Leila Santiago is live in Port Canaveral with the latest from there. Leila, empty shelves and no doubt queues at petrol stations. What are you seeing?
You know, a lot of people that I've talked to, Michael, will tell you it's still a little bit early. They're used to hurricanes here. They haven't forgotten Hurricane Irma. But then when you ask them, what is your biggest concern? Every single person told me the same thing, which was a direct hit. So as a result, while people are acknowledging that they're still a few days away, they are taking time to get ready, to prepare. They're going to the stores to buy things. We've already seen at the stores that they are starting to put limits on water. Tomorrow in Cocoa Beach, the city is bringing in 2 truckloads of sand for residents to make sandbags. We saw Waste Management making the rounds, and the city is already warning folks to go ahead and start picking up those tree branches, making sure that they don't have anything, any debris that may be out in place should this storm head straight here for a direct hit. Of course, we are still monitoring that, and so are the residents here. But another concern here is exemplified in where we are, Port Canaveral. This is actually the second busiest cruise port in the world, 4.5 million passengers last fiscal year, and you could see some interruption because of the storm to the cruises that are coming here, and that could be an impact to the economy. I spoke to one hotel manager who told me that she's had a bunch of cancellations. She is expecting to lose more than $120,000 as a result of this storm heading this way. So again, while folks are trying to keep good perspective here in noting that they're still a few days away, they're also very much monitoring, paying attention, keeping a close eye, and making preparations as they see fit.
I guess, as I say, one of the things, and Tom Sater will speak to this in a minute as well, is they don't know where it's going to hit or if it's going to hit, so you can't really evacuate yet because you don't know where to evacuate to.
Right, and I think it's important to note that these are folks, as I mentioned earlier, who remember Hurricane Irma. They are not scrambling to get out immediately, but they also are taking this seriously. There's a hotel here, actually, I was surprised by this, that still hasn't opened since Hurricane Irma, and this will sort of be, if the storm heads this way, will be the first test of the new construction that has come this way since Hurricane Irma. So, you know, this is very much, we've heard people talking, just walking by a woman today at the sandwich shop. I heard her talking over the phone saying, oh, it's a Category 4, it's a Category 4. So it's very much being taken seriously in terms of how closely they're monitoring it, but they're still waiting to see where this heads.
Yeah, I was down there in Tampa and Orlando for Irma. They were very lucky. Hopefully this time as well. Thanks so much, Leila. Good to see you, Leila Santiago there. As I promised, Tom Sater is joining us now. He's tracking Dorian, got the latest forecast, and that's the thing. You don't know how strong or where.
This storm, since the very beginning of its inception here, has been playing games with us. In fact, a couple of days ago, we thought it would hit Hispaniola, and it missed by hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. Visual satellite imagery, losing the sunlight as it sets. Watch the white puffy clouds. Those are thunderstorms. So even though there's power in the center, gives you an idea of the tremendous thunderstorms trailing back down to the south. You can see it on the infrared satellite imagery. See it all the way down toward Puerto Rico. I expect our Category 1 to become a Category 2 in a matter of hours. But on that tail end, thunderstorms are flooding now parts of Puerto Rico. Much more rain than they had yesterday when the eye was just off to the northeast of San Juan. So they're not out of this just yet. Now, where's this going to go? Everybody wants to know, where's it going to make landfall? Do not trust anyone who will tell you, I know, because they don't. This has been changing every day for the last several days, and we have 4 to 5 more to go. The cone of uncertainty is the important factor here, from Key West all the way up to Georgia. Actually include the Carolinas with this, because there have been some changes that are major. First and foremost, yesterday it was going to make landfall as a Category 3, but it had such a large amount of ocean at Category 3, we're not surprised that it's lifted now to a Category 4. The warm jet stream here just really can intensify a storm like it did with Hurricane Andrew, which, by the way, was the last time major hurricane made landfall on the east coast of Florida. This will be the second if it makes landfall in Florida. I know you look at this and you're like, well, how could it not? Here's why. 2 big concerns with this system here. Even though the models look like they're in agreement, my first concern is the angle of approach. Coming in from the east and making impact at a perpendicular angle. It disperses and really hits more with an impact. We saw that last year with Michael in Mexico Beach. We had that with Andrew in Homestead, 1992. And Gene, look at Gene, comes in from the east. We've only had 2 in history that really have come in just as a perpendicular angle instead of hitting on an angle, instead of right in. European model is in yellow. That has dropped to the south, and it is put on the brakes. That's the other concern here. When these systems put on the brakes, you see the U.S. model, where it is now, and look where this one is. Yesterday, European was up in Florida. Why is that important? When they put on the brakes, anything goes. You've got 4 or 5 days now for the steering currents to make up their mind. When this puts on the brakes, those steering currents are changed. Michael, this ball game could be played in anyone's backyard, and that's why every day is so important to watch exactly where this thing may make landfall. Just don't know yet. Tricky storm.
Yeah, that cone of uncertainty is massive. Covers the whole state. Tom Sater, thanks, my friend.